Hey guys, it's Jason with Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a little social deduction game with gorgeous art, and that game is called the Shipwreck Arcana. The Shipwreck Arcana is a game for 2 to 5 players from Mirror Morph Games. Plays in about 20 minutes or so, depending on how much talking you do when you're trying to do some deduction. And what you're doing in this is you are trying to guess one of the player's numbers. And you're going to be doing that by using these cards that are out in the middle of the board that are going to give you basically like mathematical clues. So maybe if you put a token on one, it could say, my 2 numbers are even, or my 2 numbers equal 11, or my 2 numbers are a multiple of 3, so on and so forth, that type of thing. Then based on where you put your marker or your number token, the other players are trying to figure out by deduction which number you still have. You draw 2, you're trying to give clues to the 1 so people can guess, score points. The players are trying to get to 7 points before the doom reaches 7 and the game ends and everybody loses. That's enough talking about it. Let's go on the table. Check it out. All right, so here's a game of the Shipwreck Arcana, all set up for 3 players. Setup is pretty easy. You're going to shuffle all these fate cards here, which are the white ones. Deal out 4, which are going to basically be some clues that you're going to be given to the game. You have the doom marker here. I'm setting it at 0 for easy, but you can adjust the difficulty by making the doom higher than the scoring marker. You're going to give each player a set of 7 of a player color of these tokens, which you can see here, red, yellow, and blue. And then you're going to get a bag of 3 instances of all the 7 numbers. So there's 21 chips in here. The goal of the game is we are trying to figure out some chips, some tokens, the numbers on a token. So let's just show you what that would look like. Blue's going to go first. So they drew these 2 numbers. These will be face down and only blue would know it, but I'm showing the camera just so you can see what's going on. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be using one of these numbers to give a clue to what the other number is so all the other players can guess. This player does not talk. The only communication they can give is using one of these cards. So let's talk about the cards. You can see here, they all have a special ability. They all have a special thing that they will clue the other players on. So this one, if the sum of your fates is even, play one of them here, which I could do. If I played this 6 here, they would know that my other one would have to be even because I played it there. Or I could play it here. They would know that if the difference between my fates is 4 or more, I would play one of them here. 6 and 2 is the difference of 4. If the sum of your fates is a multiple of 3, I could not do that one because it's not. If the sum of your fates is 11 or more, play it there. I can't do that. And if there's nowhere you can play it here, which will also give some clues because people can look at these cards and kind of figure out what's going on. So I'm actually going to put it right here. I'm going to use the 2. So the 6 would stay face down. So people are going to look at that, and these 2 players will be working together. They say, you know, well, it's 4 apart or more, so it couldn't be 3. It can't be 4. It can't be 5. It can't be 1 or 2. So they know it's 6 or 7. Now, they could guess, and I'll explain what happens there. They're also looking at this. Well, he didn't go here. Maybe he could have gone there, but he thinks this is a better clue. So they think it might not be even. They didn't go there, so they know it's not a multiple of 3. So they would know that 2, it's not 7. So they're going to rule out 7. So they think that my number would be 6 based on the clue that I provided. So here's what would happen. They would say, hey, we think you're number 6. Let's see it. So I'd flip. It is 6. In that case, you move the green score marker up 1, and you're halfway to winning. Or not halfway, 1/7 of the way to winning because you got to get to 7. And then this token stays here, and this one would go back in the bag. Now, the reason this would stay here, you can see it has a pip. You see the little pip right here. The bottom of the card, there's also a number of dots, which is like phases of the moon. They're effectively pips. What this means is if there's ever 4 or more pips on this card, the card will fade. And what that would mean is it would fade out and it would start giving us a special ability. If we didn't make a guess, a correct guess, when this faded, the doom would move up by 2. But if we guessed when it faded, no harm, no foul. We now have a special ability. So that's kind of what happens there. Then it would be red player's turn. They would do the same thing. They would draw 2 cards. And you can always see what cards come in next, so that's going to kind of help out a little bit. So they have 6 and 7. Again, these players don't know that. I'm just showing for the camera's purposes. And then what's going to happen is they're going to, again, do the same thing. So they are going to 13. They're actually going to do this. So they'll go here. If the sum of your fates is 11 or more, play one of them here. So I played it there. So they know it can't be this because that would be 7. It can't be 2. That would be 8. It can't be 3. That would be 9. It can't be 4. That would be 10. Now it could be, the other one could be a 5, could be a 6, could be a 7. They don't know for sure. They see that I didn't do 4 apart, which makes sense because it doesn't make sense. They see that I didn't go to even. That didn't mean that I couldn't, but they see that I didn't go there. So they're going to say, you know, I don't think it is the 6. So they're going to go ahead and cancel out the 6 just based on the clues that I provided. And they see that it's not a multiple of 3. Neither of those numbers are multiple of 3. So they're not going to guess this time. And the reason why they're not going to guess, a couple reasons. One, this fate is not going to fade. It only has 2 pips and needs to have 4. And 2, if you guess and you guess incorrectly, the doom marker moves up, and that's bad. So you don't want that to happen. So they're just going to leave it, and this player will just keep their 7, and they'll try to continue either trying someone to guess that number, or when they get another number out of the bag, they can switch it and go from there. Then we'll go to yellow, and then I think after that you're going to kind of get the gist of how the game works, but I just wanted to show you a full round here. So they have a 7 and a 3. Again, face down so no one else can see it. And they're going to go ahead and, what can they do? They can't do that one. It's not greater than a 7. They could do that. Yeah, you know, let's do that. So we're going to do that. They're going to do 4 apart. So they don't know what that is, but they know the number has to be at least 4 from this. So it can't be this one because that's only 2. That's only 2. Can't be that one. Can't be that one. Can't be that one. Oh, I guess it could be. Nope, it can't be that one. So it can only be 7 because the way that number worked, 7 is the only number that could work that's 4 apart from 3 based on the number line. So they're going to go ahead and guess 7, and they are correct. So again, this goes up 1. Both that number goes back into the bag, and we'll keep going. And that's how the game's going to play. Items are going to fade once they hit the certain threshold. New cards are going to be sliding in, and you're going to play till either the doom hits 7 and you lose, or your green marker, I'm not sure which that one is, hits 7 and you win. And that's how you play the Shipwreck Arcana. Let's go to the top, see what you think about it. All right, well, that was the Shipwreck Arcana. First off, I meant to do a video on this a long time ago, and I just didn't. I got sidetracked, but today felt fitting, so here we go. So this game is awesome. This is probably the deduction game we've played the most. So there's a spoiler. It's going to get a BGM accepted seal down the road, but just let's get there. This game, it works at all player counts. Well, 3 to 5. We haven't played it at 2. I don't know how well it'll work at 2 because it's just the one player doing the deduction. I guess if you like that, cool, but we've played 3 all the way up to 5 multiple times, and it is rock solid. So what you saw in the overview is how the game works. It's pretty easy. The hard part of this game is sometimes interpreting what the clue means, because there are a few promo cards that I have in here that don't really have the best of rule books or the best text on what they do, so they're a little fuzzy. But trying to figure out what the players meant by putting the token on the appropriate card, and could they use multiples? Is that the only one they could use? Is that the best one? Are they saying that just because they put it there doesn't mean they can't use another one? There's a lot of stuff going on in there, and it's super good. Now let's talk about the art. The art is probably the best part of this game. It's gorgeous. I mean, every card, just amazing to look at. What's this one? Just awesome. They're tarot size. They have great art. They're just really, really rock solid. And these tokens are like Scrabble tiles-ish, but they're wood. They just look really good. They have the numbers. They have the design on the back. They have the pips. The pips are easy to read. The doom track, even though it's a scoring card, irrelevant, it's awesome. And even on the back, that I've never even noticed until right now, it has setup and turns, which is really cool. So this game, all you need to do is take it out of the box, look at the back of the card, and get going. It's amazing. The bag is nice, says the name of the game, has the tiles in here so you can draw without people seeing them. Same quality of tile as the other tiles. Even this box art is kind of weird, but it fits the game. I like it. It's a small box, kind of hard to get stuff back in, so that's my one big complaint. If you don't put stuff in exactly right, it's a little tricky, but not a big deal. Just put it in another box if you want. Who really cares? So this game is fantastic. It's my favorite deduction game by a mile, probably. Trying to think if there's another one. I can't think of another one that I like better than this, and definitely that doesn't look as good as this. This one looks amazing. So there aren't many deduction games, I think, in my opinion, that look as good as this. I love this game. I'm actually going to give this game a 9 out of 10 on BGG. So this is BGM accepted, which is a 4.5 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing. But we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and we really enjoy this one. Katie loves it. I love it. Most people that we played it with love it. We showed it to the Board Game Rundown. Dan over there was a huge fan. He was singing its praises. It's great. If you can find it, it's like $15. It's super cheap. If you like deduction at all, you like math, you just like gorgeous art, this is a game you got to pick up. So that's the Shipwreck Arcana from Mirror Morph Games. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.